Have you ever noticed how easily your life can start to revolve around your children even long after they've grown up? As parents, it's natural to want to give, to show up when needed, and to stay closely connected. But if you're not careful, there comes a point where support turns into sacrifice. Many older adults slip into this without realizing it, constantly saying yes, putting their own needs aside, and eventually feeling as though their time, health, and even finances no longer belong to them. The result is exhaustion, frustration, and sometimes even resentment. But here's the encouraging truth: it doesn't have to be this way. You can be a caring, present parent while also protecting your independence and dignity. You can love your family deeply without losing yourself in the process. In this video, we'll explore 6 powerful strategies that will help you create balance in your later years, practical steps that keep you free, respected, and in control of your own life. From protecting your peace with boundaries to safeguarding your financial stability, these insights will show you how to live on your terms while still nurturing healthy relationships with your children. Stay tuned until the end, because what we're about to share might completely shift the way you experience this chapter of life. And before we dive in, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the tips and insights we share to help you live a happier, stronger, and more independent life. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Set clear boundaries. Many parents make the mistake of believing their responsibility never ends, even when their children are fully grown. You've already guided them, provided for them, and prepared them for adulthood. But that does not mean you must surrender your later years to constant sacrifice. If you find yourself always rushing to their aid, rearranging your days to fit their demands, or feeling guilty when you say no, it's a sign that limits need to be set. Respect in a family goes both ways, and part of that respect means valuing your time, your health, and your personal life. Boundaries are not walls to push people away, they are lines that protect your peace and help create healthier relationships. Take Margaret, a 68-year-old mother who constantly cooked meals for her grown children and looked after their homes whenever they traveled. At first, she felt useful and loved. But over time, she realized her own health was suffering, and she had little time left for friends, hobbies, or rest. When Margaret finally sat her children down, explained that she could no longer carry all of their responsibilities, they were surprised, but they adapted. They began cooking for themselves, sharing tasks, and appreciating her more when she did choose to help. Margaret discovered that by setting limits, she gained freedom without weakening her bond with her family. Her story shows that valuing yourself is not neglect, it's wisdom. Here's the truth: if you never set boundaries, your children may continue to take without realizing the toll it takes on you. Not because they don't care, but because they assume you'll always be available. By speaking up, you remind them that your life matters too, and in turn, they often gain a deeper respect for your sacrifices and your independence. It's not about rejection, it's about creating space where everyone can thrive. Boundaries also teach your children a valuable lesson. They begin to understand that while you care deeply, your role is no longer to carry every burden for them. This gives them the chance to grow stronger and take responsibility for their own lives. Instead of fostering dependence, you help them develop resilience and confidence to manage challenges without leaning on you constantly. Most importantly, boundaries make room for joy. When time with your children and grandchildren is not forced or overwhelming, it becomes more meaningful. You're able to share laughter, create memories, and enjoy one another without resentment or exhaustion. By protecting your own needs, you not only strengthen family ties, but also ensure that your later years are filled with dignity, freedom, and fulfillment. Number 2, put your financial well-being first. One of the biggest mistakes many older parents make is putting their children's financial comfort ahead of their own stability. Out of love or guilt, they dip into their retirement savings, give away large amounts of money, or even take on debt to help. While the intention is noble, the consequence can be devastating. The truth is simple: once your savings are gone, no one is going to refill them for you. Retirement should be a season of rest, enjoyment, and peace, not stress and struggle. Protecting your financial foundation is not selfish, it's responsible. Consider Ellen, a 70-year-old widow who constantly gave money to her adult daughter to cover rent and bills. Ellen believed she was being a supportive mother, but over time, her retirement account began to shrink. She soon realized she was at risk of not being able to cover her own medical needs. When she finally set limits and told her daughter she could no longer provide cash, the adjustment was difficult. But over time, her daughter found a better job, learned to budget, and became more independent. Ellen, on the other hand, regained peace of mind knowing she had safeguarded her future. Here is the truth. By always giving in financially, you may think you are helping, but you could actually be holding your children back from learning responsibility. At the same time, you put yourself in a dangerous position where you may later depend on them for support, something neither you nor they want. A healthy act of love is making sure you do not become a burden in the future. It's also important to remember that financial security brings freedom. When you protect your retirement, you maintain the ability to make choices that bring you joy, whether that means traveling, pursuing hobbies, or simply living without constant worry. By saying no when necessary, you're not rejecting your children, you're showing them the importance of balance, discipline, and self-reliance. Instead of providing endless financial handouts, offer guidance. Teach them how to budget, save, and invest. Share your life lessons and experiences. This way, you still provide support without draining your resources. True love is not measured by how much money you give, but by how well you prepare your children to stand on their own 2 feet. Number 3. Protect your own life and passions. As people age, one of the easiest traps to fall into is letting everything revolve around their children. It doesn't happen all at once. First, it's skipping a book club meeting to run an errand for them. Then it's shelving a long-awaited trip because they might need help with the kids. Before long, you realize your own interests, routines, and personal goals have been pushed aside. Slowly, your identity shrinks until you see yourself only as mom or dad. But here's the reality. Your life belongs to you too. You had friends, hobbies, and dreams long before you became a parent, and those things still deserve attention. Neglecting them leaves you feeling empty, and nothing steals vitality faster than living only for someone else. Consider Lillian, a 71-year-old former nurse who had always loved painting. When her son opened a new business, she spent nearly all her time helping him, managing paperwork, watching his kids, and running errands. She thought she was being supportive, but gradually she stopped painting altogether. One afternoon, a neighbor invited her to join a local art class, and reluctantly she agreed. Picking up a brush again reminded her of the joy she had set aside. Over time, she not only rediscovered her creative side, but also formed new friendships that brought fresh energy into her life. By reclaiming her passion, Lillian learned that caring for her children didn't mean abandoning herself. Imagine how different life could feel if you stopped postponing your dreams and started giving yourself permission to live again. Imagine waking up each day with something exciting on your calendar that belongs only to you, whether it's a hobby, an outing with friends, or simply quiet time to enjoy what makes you happy. Your family may love you deeply, but they cannot create that spark for you. Only you can give yourself that gift. Maintaining your own life also sets an important example. When your children see you pursuing your passions, traveling, or learning new skills, they realize that life doesn't stop at 60, 70, or even 80. They learn that aging is not about fading away, but about growth, reinvention, and joy. In fact, your independence can inspire them to live with the same courage and balance in their own lives. Finally, remember this: your children have their own paths, and you have yours. Staying connected doesn't mean giving up your individuality. Whether it's gardening, volunteering, music, fitness, or exploring the world, your passions deserve space. A fulfilled life in your later years comes from investing in yourself. By keeping your own spark alive, you remain strong, happy, and whole, not just for your family, but for yourself. Number 4, encourage independence, not dependence. Helping your children develop independence is one of the most lasting gifts a parent can give. Unfortunately, Many parents unintentionally hold their children back by constantly stepping in, fixing problems, and providing solutions long after they've reached adulthood. While this comes from a place of love and protection, it often prevents children from facing the very challenges that would help them grow stronger and wiser. The question to ask yourself is simple: am I empowering my children, or am I keeping them dependent on me? When you are always the one solving their financial troubles, soothing every emotional breakdown, or rescuing them from poor decisions, you may believe you're helping, but in reality, you're limiting their ability to build resilience. Over time, this dynamic can leave you drained while your children remain unprepared for real life. Consider the story of Harold, a father in his early 70s. For years, he stepped in whenever his daughter faced difficulties, covering her debts and softening her mistakes. Eventually, Harold made the tough decision to step back, no longer offering immediate solutions. At first, his daughter struggled. She made errors, faced uncomfortable situations, and felt the weight of personal responsibility for the first time. Yet something powerful happened. She began to grow. She learned how to budget, make wiser choices, and stand firm in her independence. Surprisingly, their relationship improved because the pressure of expectation disappeared. Harold could finally relate to his daughter as an equal adult, not a child needing constant rescue. This shift highlighted an important truth: supporting your children doesn't always mean saving them, it means trusting them to learn from their experiences. There is also a broader lesson here about legacy. When parents encourage self-reliance, they're not only helping their children succeed, but also ensuring that future generations are more capable, confident, and resourceful. A child who learns independence will eventually raise children who understand accountability and resilience as well. In contrast, enabling dependency can create a cycle of helplessness that extends far beyond one generation. Breaking that cycle requires courage, patience, and a willingness to let your children face the discomfort of their own decisions. That discomfort, though painful, is often the very thing that pushes them toward real growth. If you're finding value in this message, drop a comment saying number 4 so I know you're still with me. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss more content designed to inspire, guide, and encourage you on this journey. Your support helps us continue sharing insights that matter. Number 5, build your own emotional strength. As parents grow older, many unintentionally tie their sense of joy to how much attention they receive from their children. They feel uplifted when their kids call or visit, and deeply discouraged when the contact is less frequent. While this is understandable, it can create an emotional imbalance where your happiness relies on someone else's actions. Loving your children is natural, but depending on them to be the primary source of your emotional fulfillment often leads to disappointment. Your well-being should rest on your own choices and activities, not on how often others remember you. Your children may love you, but their busy lives filled with work, families, and personal obligations mean they cannot always provide the attention you desire. That does not mean you are forgotten, it simply means your happiness must come from within. Take Samuel, a 74-year-old retired teacher who often felt empty whenever his 2 sons postponed visits. For years, he would sit at home waiting for calls that didn't always come, sinking into frustration and sadness. Eventually, Samuel realized he had given away control of his emotional life. He decided to take charge of his days by joining a local chess club, mentoring younger teachers, and even starting a small garden project in his community. Over time, his calendar filled with meaningful activities, and he began to feel alive again. What surprised him most was that his sons started visiting more often, not out of obligation, but because they genuinely wanted to share in his newfound energy and happiness. By finding strength in himself, Samuel transformed his relationship with his children and, more importantly, with his own life. Imagine the freedom that comes with no longer waiting for someone else to dictate your mood. When you take responsibility for your own emotional well-being, you reclaim peace, confidence, and vitality. You stop measuring your worth by phone calls or visits, and instead cultivate a life filled with meaning, hobbies, and relationships that inspire you. This doesn't mean withdrawing from your children, it means loving them from a place of strength rather than need. And in doing so, you show them that aging does not equal dependency, but can instead be a powerful stage of self-discovery and inner growth. If you found this message helpful, leave a comment with number 5 to let me know you're still following along. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next insight. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content that uplifts and empowers. Number 6. Guard your peace through healthy boundaries. As you grow older, one of the greatest strengths you can develop is the ability to set limits. Many parents slip into the habit of saying yes to every request, whether it's watching grandchildren at the last minute, offering endless financial support, or constantly adjusting their lives to fit the needs of others. While generosity is admirable, it becomes harmful when it drains your energy and leaves you feeling unappreciated. The truth is simple. You are not an endless well of time and resources. Protecting your peace does not mean you love your family. Less, it means you respect yourself enough to recognize your own needs. When you're constantly exhausted, resentful, or overlooked, that's a signal that it's time to create healthy boundaries. Take Helena, a 76-year-old grandmother who always placed her children's needs above her own. She canceled personal outings, gave away money she needed, and frequently put her health at risk just to meet their demands. For years, she believed this was her role as a parent, until she realized she was living in a cycle of sacrifice without appreciation. One day, she chose to change course. She began to politely decline requests that left her feeling drained, explaining that she needed time for herself. At first, her children resisted, but eventually, they came to respect her choices. What followed was unexpected. Their relationship improved because Helena was no longer giving out of obligation, but from genuine willingness. By drawing a line, she preserved her own peace while still showing love in ways that felt balanced and healthy. Boundaries also serve as a powerful teaching tool. When older parents learn to say no, they show their children that respect is mutual, that love doesn't require self-neglect. This lesson often inspires the younger generation to take responsibility for their own lives instead of leaning too heavily on their parents. It fosters independence, respect, and healthier family dynamics where no one feels overburdened or taken for granted. In this way, boundaries aren't just about self-protection. They are about strengthening relationships by making them more honest and sustainable. If this message resonates with you, drop a comment saying number 6 so I know you're still with me. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. You'll get more insights like this to help you live with strength, balance, and peace. Your support makes it possible for us to keep sharing uplifting content that matters. As you step into this season of life, remind yourself of one simple truth: your happiness matters. You've already dedicated years, perhaps decades, to giving, nurturing, and putting your family first. Now, it's time to also honor yourself. This does not mean abandoning your children or ignoring family obligations. Instead, it's about striking a balance where your love for others does not overshadow your own well-being. You can still be a caring parent or grandparent while remembering that your life has value beyond what you provide for others. Support where you can, but don't allow yourself to be drained. Give from a place of strength, not sacrifice. You still have passions, goals, and needs that deserve space in your daily life. As you think back on the 6 lessons we've shared today, pause for a moment of reflection. Which one speaks to you the most right now? Do you need to draw firmer boundaries? Do you need to shift your focus toward your own emotional health? Or perhaps it's time to start making choices based on what truly makes you happy, rather than on expectations placed upon you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share in the comments one key idea that stood out to you and how you might apply it moving forward. Every comment matters. Not only does it encourage us, but it also inspires others who may be on the same journey as you. If this video gave you something meaningful to think about, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need the encouragement. Your support allows us to keep creating content that uplifts, educates, and inspires. Thank you for spending this time with us, and we look forward to sharing more with you in the next video.